Mets fans, and welcome to a special and unexpected edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and it is Monday afternoon, the day after the last day of the regular season. And the reason I'm recording now is because, as I'd said this morning when I recorded my season wrap-up video, I'm going to be out of town this week, and wanted to give some thoughts on the playoffs, which will begin tomorrow. So by the time you watch this video, it will not be Monday, but again, I'm recording on Monday. I wanted to give some thoughts about the playoffs, which I didn't really get into this morning. There was just too much other stuff to talk about. So tomorrow we have the first of two wild card play-in games. I refuse to call them the first round of the playoffs because it's really not, but I mean, I guess it is technically. But we're going to get two really fun, very different games. In the National League, we'll have an NL West matchup between the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, and that's going to be on Wednesday. And tomorrow night, we're going to get the American League wild card game between the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. And I wanted to talk a little bit about these two games and what will happen after they're all said and done. On tomorrow's game and for tomorrow's game, look, I think all of us as Mets fans know that we really don't want to see the Yankees win. And I've sort of griped about the fact that I hate that the Yankees, that is, were able to rebuild so quickly and get themselves right back into the playoffs less than a year after they decided they were going to do a full-on rebuild. That being said, I am not a Yankee hater. I just don't want them to win. The bottom line is the underdog tale of the Minnesota Twins, a team that got off to a really good start this year, are managed by the guy who will more than likely win American League Manager of the Year, former player, one of my favorite players growing up, Paul Molitor. The Twins are just a much better story for me as a fan. And look, I'm tired of the Yankees, and I think we all are. I just don't want to see them go on beyond tomorrow night. And by the time you're watching this, it'll be tonight that the game will be played. But again, I want to see the Twins be the Cinderella story, be that underdog tale. This is a team that at this year's trading deadline actually sold pieces. They sold pieces off because they had fallen so far out of contention in the American League race that the fact they were able to hold on to the wild card, that's amazing. And I mean, look, the fact that Bartolo Colon is pitching for this team is even more ammunition to root for them. So I am really, really, really pulling for the Minnesota Twins. The winner of that game will move on to face the Cleveland Indians. And I mentioned in the video this morning that I was rooting for a team in the American League, and it wasn't who you'd expect. I think everyone kind of expects that Mets fans are going to be pulling for Cleveland because of Jay Bruce being there. But I'm actually pulling for the Astros. And the Astros will face the Red Sox in the ALDS, Part 2 of the ALDS, and the winner of the Twins and the Yankees will face the Indians. So I am pulling for the Stros in the American League, not because of the hurricane and not because of the recovery, although that's a nice story. I'm pulling for them simply because they've never won. The Astros have never won the World Series. They've been there once, they lost. I just feel like it's their time. And it would also be like the first time ever that Sports Illustrated actually predicted something. They called the Astros the 2017 World Series champions like 3 years ago. So in the AL, I want the Astros to advance to the World Series. And that brings us to the National League. In the NL, as I said, Arizona and Colorado in the wild card game. I am firmly behind the Diamondbacks. I want the Diamondbacks to win. I wouldn't mind if the Rockies won. But the bottom line there is that the winner of that series goes on to face the Dodgers. And the Dodgers have played for the majority of the season better than everybody in the league. Up until the last month or so when they stumbled a little bit and had a losing streak. the Dodgers have been the team to beat in the National League. So the winner of that wild card game has a tall task ahead of them against Kershaw and the Yu Darvish and the rest of that ridiculous Dodgers pitching staff. So that'll be interesting. It'll be an all NL West affair in one half of the bracket. The other half is the one that I'm paying more attention to, and it's because our friends, the Washington Nationals, will try to do what they've never been able to do, try to advance beyond the first round of the playoffs. They're facing the World Series Cubs, World Series winning Cubs. They'll be defending their crown in the first round against the Nationals, and you don't have to be a rocket science to know that I want the Nationals to lose in the first round. I want them gone immediately. No reason for the Nationals to progress beyond the first round. They belong eliminated. That's where they belong. I'll never change my opinion on that. I don't care. Unless they move back to Montreal and become the Expos again, and then I'll stop disliking them. Sorry. That's the bottom line there. So in the NL, who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for the Diamondbacks. That's the team I'd like to see win the National League. I don't want to see the Cubs repeat. I don't even want them to get back to the World Series, honestly. I want the D-backs, because that was a very quick turnaround for that team. They lost a lot of games in the last few years. They made a big splash last year signing Zach Greinke, and it took a year for that to pay off. So I'd like to see the D-backs take the National League. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't even know if they're going to get past the Rockies, because the Rockies have a really good offense, but we'll see what happens. So I wanted to get those thoughts in about the playoffs, about the first round. I'll try to get another video recorded on Saturday when I get home. Although depending on my rental car situation in Oklahoma, that's where I'm heading. Depending on the rental car situation, I might be able to record something from the road while I'm in Oklahoma. So that'll wrap it up for today. Again, you're going to be watching this on Tuesday, the 3rd of October, but as I'm recording, it is Monday the 2nd. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it as always. And as always, it's weird to say it because they're not playing, but I don't care. As always, let's go Mets.